Hey guys, what's up? Power Up Boxing here, and I want to talk about Manny Pacquiao's next fight. Uh, he obviously has made it clear that he wants Floyd Mayweather next, and he hopes he can get that fight. He says it's possible. He wants that. He wants another crack at him because he thinks he can do better now that his shoulder's better. So we're waiting on that. But if not Mayweather, who will be next for Manny Pacquiao? Because he does say he's going to keep on fighting for as long as he likes training long. So that might be a while, right? Or Freddie Roach tells him you don't have it anymore. One of those. So let's try to see who he will fight next. We'll go through the list of opponents. Let's see here. Let me first mention though that they've been talking about Manny Pacquiao facing pretty much this will be the video is about this that Manny Pacquiao might be facing Jeff Horn. I hear talks about that. I forget from who was saying it. I don't know if it was Bob or whoever was saying that, but apparently Jeff Horn would be a possible opponent. Now, a lot of you guys are like, who is Jeff Horn? He's in the welterweight division. He actually, let me just pull up his profile here. All right. Yeah, so he's undefeated. He's from Australia, Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. 15 wins, 10 KOs. Has never fought outside of Australia. That's why we've never heard of him. Most of us have probably never even seen him fight because he wouldn't be on, like, for most of us, we're just pretty much watching fights that take place in the US for the majority of the fights, some in Canada, and some big fights that are elsewhere, but there hasn't been any big fights that have taken place in Australia in boxing in a while. So I've probably never seen him fight. Because I was kind of thinking maybe I see him on an undercard, but no, I probably didn't because he's only fought in Australia, right? So people criticizing Manny Pacquiao. I know Dante's Boxing Nation was criticizing him in a video when he was talking to Gennady Golovkin's trainer and Abel Sanchez. And he's like, do you think that's a good fight, Manny Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn? He's like, yeah, this great fight, being sarcastic, like, who's Jeff Horn, right? But, like, and he's talking about how people criticize Floyd for taking fights, but then you see Pacquiao's taking a fight with a guy we know nothing about. But there is some argument to say about that because, like, if you look at, like, if we go to the ratings, we go to welterweight. So top 10 welterweights, and we go there and we see that BoxRec has Manny Pacquiao ranked number one. Like, I don't agree with their pound for pound list on BoxRec. They do it a different way by points, but I don't know how they calculate it. They calculate it somehow, but they have Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Kell Brook, Timothy Bradley. Let me first start off. Okay, Jeff Horn, he is ranked number 9, so he's in the top 10 welterweight in the world, even though we never heard of him. He is in the top 10, so that's a good argument to say at least Pacquiao's fighting a top 10 fighter. When Mayweather fought Berto, was Berto in the top 10? I don't know. He's definitely not in the top 10 now, so I doubt he was in the top 10 when Mayweather fought him. So really, you're a champion, you're fighting a top 10 guy. I don't see any problem with that, but obviously I think people are criticizing. There's an argument to be made that there's other opponents that Pacquiao could be facing that are in the top 10 that are better, and that's obviously true. And another thing you could go by, if you go to the welterweight rankings of the WBO. Pacquiao has the WBO title, right? His mandatory, the number one ranked guy to fight Pacquiao is Timothy Bradley. He's already fought Timothy Bradley 3 times. I don't want to see him. We're not going to see that again, right? Uh, Guess who's ranked number 2? Jeff Horn. And guess who's ranked number 3? Jesse Vargas. He beat him. So really, why not Jeff Horn get a... Like, I'm not saying, like, we don't know anything about Jeff Horn. We haven't seen... Apparently, people who have seen him said he can scrap. I would have to go on YouTube and see what he's what he's about, see how good he is. But I can't really make any... I can't say if it would be a good fight or not. I haven't seen the guy fight. People say he can scrap. A lot of people criticizing him who probably never seen him. So give the guy a chance, right? Go and watch him, see what you think. I have to do that as well. But until now, give him a chance. I'll get back to you when I maybe see him fight. But I really don't think this fight will happen. It could, because he is in line for mandatory. So nothing's wrong with Manny fighting him, really. If he beat the number 1 contender, he beat the number 3 contender, why not the number 2, Jeff Horn? Number 4 contender is Errol Spence. So obviously everyone would rather see that fight, including myself. He's proven to a certain extent what he can do, Spence. Jeff Horn, we haven't seen what he could do. Most of us haven't seen what he can do. And usually guys who fight in the U.S. on U.S. soil have a higher level competition when you fight in the U.S., right? Australia not the same pool of opponents competitive wise. Not saying they're not good, but U.S. is pretty much has the best competition. So you got, if Manny Pacquiao has beaten Timothy Bradley, he's beaten Jesse Vargas, and number 3, and Jeff Horn's ranked number 2 now. I guess maybe Jesse Vargas was ranked 2, so, but now we got moved to 3, and now Jeff Horn's in line for his shot. So that's an argument to be made. Manny Pacquiao, according to BoxRec, he's ranked in the top 10 welterweights. Jeff Horn, WBO, he is in line. He's Manny's mandatory. So really, give the guy a chance. I'm not saying, I haven't seen the guy fight. Maybe he doesn't stand a chance. Maybe it is a huge mismatch, right? Obviously, Errol Spence, from what we've seen, it's a better fight because people know him. You know what he can do, right? So I would think Jeff Horn would at least need to fight on U.S. soil against a notable opponent before getting Manny Pacquiao. But like I said, they did rank him up there. He's ranked number 2 in the WBO. And if you look at... he's ranked number 2 for the IBF as well. So Kell Brook could actually take that fight before Manny does. I could see that happening. But we all know Kell Brook, number 1 mandatory, is Errol Spence. So I would think Kell Brook would have to fight Errol Spence before Jeff Horn, but you never know. So it's just the IBF in the WBO that Jeff Horn's ranked number 2 at both. So anyway, like, top 10 welterweights in the world according to BoxRec, Manny Pacquiao in order from 1 to 10. Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Kell Brook, Timothy Bradley, Errol Spence, Jesse Vargas, Jeff Horn, ranked number 9, David Avanzian. So, who should Manny fight next if he can't get Mayweather? And obviously, he'd probably want Marquez too, but it'd be surprised if he got Marquez. So take those 2 options out just for now. And Terrence Crawford, he's on the table too, so leave him in there. So you got Terrence Crawford. If he wins, he should, against John Molina. Should be easy work for him. Oh, and you got Lomachenko, but that's kind of far-fetched at this moment, I think. But you never know. So Terrence Crawford, I would say, possibility. Lomachenko, less likely. So we'll just say Terrence Crawford. Okay, put him on the table. Now let's go to the welterweights, though, because Terrence Crawford's a 140-pound fighter. Who could Manny fight? Okay, so you got Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia. They're fighting in March. So that's probably going to be out of the question because Manny's probably going to fight in the spring, probably in April or something like that. I'm not sure because the Senate he's in now, it complicates things. I don't know if he's going to stick to his usual April dates that he usually fights in, right? April, May, June, around there. So you would assume that Keith Thurman, the winner of Keith Thurman versus Danny Garcia, that would only give them like less than a month to prepare, and that'd probably be maybe too quick notice. But you never know. Maybe they would want to jump in right away with Manny Pacquiao, right? You never know, right? But Danny Garcia didn't want to accept the money to fight Pacquiao before, so why would he want to do it now, right? But I hear Danny Garcia after he beats Keith Thurman, he wants Manny Pacquiao. So let's just say, like, that's not enough time. Pacquiao's gonna fight in April. Take the winner out of that fight out of the equation, maybe, right? Not enough time. Okay, so Sean Porter, ranked number 4. I guess he just lost the fight against Keith Thurman, so I don't know if Pacquiao would even want to fight him, fighting a losing fighter. So take him out. Kell Brook, okay, so that could happen, but it seems likely that he should be forced to face Errol Spence, right? Because that is his mandatory for a while now. I think over a year now. I don't even know. He's been his mandatory for a long time, and he was supposed to fight him instead of Gennady Golovkin, but he fought Gennady Golovkin. So we'll just say apparently Eddie Hearn, Kell Brook's promoter, said it will probably take place in the UK, so maybe it'll be next. And if that's the case, take Errol Spence and Kell Brook out of the equation too. Timothy Bradley, take him out of the equation. Errol Spence, ranked number 7, take him out. Jesse Vargas, take him out. Next in line, the only other 2 opponents, Jeff Horn, David Avanzian of Russia. So you got Jeff Horn, who I just talked about. We don't know anything about him. David Avanzian. You've probably seen him only once. And maybe a couple times because he has fought in the UK, actually. But for most of us, you've probably only seen him once, and that was against Shane Mosley. He got the unanimous decision back in Arizona in, what was it, March, I think, of 2016. Or no, not March. January, February, March, April, May. Back in May, I think, of 2016, he beat him. So I guess that's another possible opponent that Pacquiao could face. But on the rankings, he's not in the top WBO rankings. So I don't know. Like, obviously it could happen, but he's not ranked in the rankings of either not even any organization here. It doesn't have him in WBA, IBF, WBO, WBC. He's not ranked here. So, but BoxRec lists him as in the top 10, right on number 10. So there's the options. Who should Pacquiao fight? Let me know. And this video was about just, I don't think it's a bad thing for Pacquiao to fight Jeff Horn. On paper, Jeff Horn he's entitled to fighting Pacquiao. He's next in line mandatory. So if Pacquiao takes it, it's not gonna hurt his reputation. He's fighting a top 10 welterweight, apparently. I know, I never heard of him, but apparently he's top 10. And he's number 2 WBO ranked and IBF ranked number 2 contender. So that's, you know what I mean? That's not bad, right? Mayweather's done way worse than that. So obviously I'd rather see Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Lomachenko, or those would be better fights, more exciting from what because we know these guys, right? We don't know Jeff Horn. Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, the winner of that. That'd be good. But the schedule's kind of packed there in those fights. Kell Brook's probably going to fight Errol Spence. But if that doesn't happen, then sure, I'd like to see Pacquiao fight Errol Spence or Kell Brook. And if Danny Garcia, the winner of Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman, if they will accept short notice and fight Pacquiao, or if Pacquiao moves his date, say if he doesn't fight in April, say if he fights in June, that'd give them enough time maybe. So for me, like I said, I wouldn't criticize Pacquiao for taking Jeff Horn, because at the first I did, I'm like, who is this guy? But then I looked it up. He actually is the mandatory. He's ranked in the top 10. So really, in that sense, it's not so bad. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on it.